Hello everyone. This is an example of attribute charting, which is chapter 39 for a third grade class. So here we go. So, hi students. I know how we've been working really hard on those research projects we're doing about the 50 states of America. So as you guys remember, we're picking a few states and we're delving into how these states are similar and how they may be different. Does everybody remember how we were doing that? Okay, good. So what I want to do is help you integrate this project into your writing. So what I have today is something called an attribute chart. So with an attribute chart, we can define attributes, in this case, of certain states and their qualities. So I've got two random states to throw at you guys. One of them's really easy. The other one people consider to be kind of the polar opposite. So I've got the state of Florida and I've also got the state of Alaska. Can you guys tell me anything about the state of Alaska? Okay, so Donald. Donald says that the state of Alaska, he knows it snows a lot and it is cold. Well, matter of fact, that's one of our attributes on our attribute chart. So I'm going to give Alaska a check mark for cold. Now, can anyone tell me anything else about Alaska? No? Kind of drawing a blank? That's okay. How about the state of Florida? We know the state of Florida isn't cold, right? No. So the state of Florida is hot. So that's also one of our attributes. So we're going to go ahead and check that in the hot column. Now let's keep going through it. Is Alaska hot? No, not really. I've lived there for 4 years, so I know in the summers it can get a little bit, but the most you're probably going to ever see is 75 degrees. So I'm going to put a X in that for Alaska. Same deal with Florida. Florida is kind of, maybe have a week or two out of the winter that's cold. So I'm going to hit it with an X for the most part. Now, Jason, do you see any mountains in Florida? Does Florida have mountains? No. So Jason says no, so Florida's going to get an X there. How about Alaska? From what we've read about Alaska, do you guys think Alaska has mountains? Yeah, it does. So it'll get a check. How about fishing? Fishing is pretty big in both Florida and Alaska. So I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a double check mark there. How about wildlife? What kind of wildlife do we have here in Florida? Well, Amy says we have alligators and panthers and all that kind of stuff. So do we have wildlife? Absolutely. How about Alaska? Yeah, so Jessica says Alaska has big black bears, brown bears, and even moose that'll walk down the street and get right up next to your car. So they're going to both check out for wildlife. Now what I want to do, we have our attribute chart out at the front of the board. So what I want to do is I want you guys to take a blank piece of paper, just like I have here. Set that down. And what we're going to do, I just want you to fold it in half. So fold it in half really quick. On one side, you're going to write Alaska and attempt to draw the state. I know it's hard. It's a lot of lines. Just give it a shot. Flip side, you're going to write Florida and try to draw Florida as the best you can. So, now that everybody's done doing that, we're going to flip our board over here and we're going to write sentences. Think of a sentence the best way you can to help describe what we've gone through on our attribute chart. So I'll help you with Florida. So with Florida, it's hot, mountains, has fishing and wildlife. So, for example, a sentence I can write could go something like, Florida is a very hot and humid state, period. Despite not having any mountains, it has plenty of wildlife. And then, to sum it all up, we could write In fact, fishing is a major hobby of many Floridians. So now we've wrote out good sentences that are descriptive based on our attribute chart. So now what I want you guys to do is take the other half. You can either use what I have for Florida, or you can, I'd like you to even add a couple of your own. But on the other side, come up with some sentences for Alaska based on what we've done with the attribute chart. And then we'll take a look at them, we'll go over them and see what we've got.